What is really happening right now is not what most people think it is. And the deeper you look into this conflict, the more you realize that we are not witnessing a simple war, but a complete transformation of modern warfare and global power balance. Because from the very beginning, Iran has made it clear through its actions, not its words, that this is not about ending the war quickly, but about reshaping the conditions of future wars, about creating a level of deterrence so strong that no nation would dare to repeat this scenario again. And that changes everything because it means every strike, every response, every delay is calculated with long-term consequences in mind rather than immediate results. And that is exactly why the situation appears confusing on the surface, because what looks like weakness may actually be strategy, and what looks like escalation may actually be restraint. And this is where most mainstream analysis completely fails to understand what is unfolding right now. And if you want to truly understand these hidden dynamics, make sure you subscribe to From Report, because what you are about to hear goes far beyond what traditional media is willing to explain. When we talk about the effectiveness of U.S. and allied operations, the official narrative suggests overwhelming success, massive destruction of missile systems, severe degradation of Iran's capabilities. But the reality on the ground tells a more complicated story, because while the number of missiles being launched has significantly decreased, that does not automatically mean Iran has lost its ability to strike. It may instead indicate a deliberate shift in strategy toward precision warfare where fewer missiles are used, but each one is chosen carefully to maximize impact. And this is supported by what we are seeing in the field, where targets are being hit with increasing accuracy and devastating effect, contradicting earlier claims that Iranian systems lack precision. And in modern warfare, precision matters far more than quantity, because a single accurate strike can achieve what dozens of inaccurate ones cannot. At the same time, we have to consider the possibility that the early phase of this conflict was designed to exhaust defensive systems, because launching large volumes of missiles forces air defense networks to respond, and each interception consumes valuable resources. And once those resources begin to run low, the defensive shield becomes weaker, creating opportunities for more effective strikes later on. And if this was indeed part of Iran's strategy, then what we are seeing now is not a reduction in capability, but the beginning of a second phase, a phase where efficiency replaces volume and where every move is calculated with surgical precision. And this kind of thinking reflects a level of military planning that is far more advanced than many expected. And while all of this is happening, there is another dimension that cannot be ignored, the psychological dimension, because war is not only fought on the battlefield, but also in the minds of decision-makers and populations. And by maintaining the ability to strike while appearing to hold back, Iran creates uncertainty. And uncertainty is one of the most powerful weapons in modern conflict, because it forces the opponent to prepare for multiple scenarios at once, stretching resources, increasing stress, and complicating strategic planning. And this uncertainty is amplified by the fact that there is no clear evidence that Iran is running out of weapons. In fact, most estimates suggest they started with a massive stockpile, far larger than what has been used so far, meaning the perception of depletion may be misleading. Now, as the conflict continues to evolve, we are seeing a shift toward more calculated and targeted operations, with Iran relying heavily on surveillance data, drone reconnaissance, and satellite imagery to assess damage and select targets. And this indicates a transition from reactive warfare to proactive strategy, where actions are based on real-time intelligence rather than immediate retaliation. And this level of coordination suggests a highly organized command structure capable of adapting quickly to changing conditions, which again challenges the idea that Iran is in a weakened position. And if you are still watching at this point, it means you are looking for deeper understanding. So take a moment to subscribe to From Report, because this is exactly where complex geopolitical realities are broken down in a way that actually makes sense. But perhaps the most critical aspect of this entire situation is what could happen next. Because despite the damage already inflicted, there are clear signs that Iran is holding back significant capabilities, waiting to see how events unfold. And this introduces a dangerous level of unpredictability, because if certain red lines are crossed, the response could be far more intense than anything we have seen so far.